The shrill tone of my 5 a.m. alarm clock brings a smile to my face. It's still dark outside as I rise, dress, and sink into my already tall boots. It's another day dedicated to horses. Heaven. My manual blue Volkswagen Jetta takes me along my memorized route until I reach the home of my treasure. I emerge from the car and I feel the crisp, cold air on my skin, and I slide open the barn door and enter, and I immediately take it all in. The nickering, the whinnying, the pawing, the rolling, and the sweet hay crunching. I instinctually find myself moving towards him. His long, white blaze is my guiding light in the morning darkness. Then, as the sun rises, I begin to see Finn in its entirety, and I begin to recall the moment and the experience that makes me so grateful for mornings like these. So the horse bug bit me when I was 5 years old, and my mom took me to the barn to watch her 9 a.m. jumping lesson. I was immediately mesmerized, and I just loved how she could navigate their movements so effortlessly. To me, it was so beautiful. But my initial delight actually wasn't so much in the riding as it was in the caring for the horses, the brushing, the washing, the treat feeding. I even lacked any sort of sense of danger associated with the horses. I'd often run in between and weave in and out of the horses' legs as my mom would watch in terror and panic. But nevertheless, I really developed a genuine love and dedication to these animals before I even began a jumping career of my own. But over the years, I have ridden, trained, shown, and dearly loved dozens of horses, but there's one that carries my heart. He's a 16 two-hand chestnut gelding, and his name is Finn. Growing up, most girls had Abercrombie and boy crushes, but I had Finn. He was there when I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes and had to learn to prick my fingers for blood, count carbohydrates, and administer insulin into my abdomen. He was also there when my older sister was diagnosed with AML leukemia, and my mom and her had to move about 2 hours away from our house for about 9 months, where she was treated at Stanford Children's Hospital. In both of these times, I was paralyzed with fear. But Finn and I would stand together in his stall as he breathed his warm, comforting breath onto my neck, my tears flowing. His massive body was still and gentle against my small frame. He just knew I'd be okay. But it was on New Year's Day, 2014, that I felt Finn's hind leg slip, ever so slightly. But it happened again, and then again. My trainer insisted that nothing was wrong with him. He was okay. But I'd memorized his movements, and these just weren't it. That afternoon, I took the liberty to call the vet myself and express my concern for Finn. I could feel the air catching in my throat and the tears welling up in my eyes as I made this phone call. The vet came out the next day, but standard veterinary tests and procedures found no indications of lameness or illness. But I just knew. In a matter of weeks, Finn had lost control of both of his hind legs. He was then referred to a neurology specialist who diagnosed him with EPM, which is a form of spinal parasites. There were a slew of medications that he was given, and I kept him on a very strict regimen, but still he showed no response to the treatment. One morning, I got to the barn to find Finn bloody and battered in his stall. He had apparently fallen during the night, and he had struggled for hours to get up. I was told that he might have to be put down. This was another time when I was paralyzed with fear. But unlike before, Finn wasn't there to save me. My once powerful and athletic creature was now tired and defenseless. But I stood in his stall with him. Again, he breathed his warm breath onto me. But this time, I was trying to imagine a life without him. I just couldn't. My tears flowed. Days passed, and luckily, my family understood my devastation. My parents agreed to afford further costly veterinary testing until finally one vet discovered the issue. He had a rare arthritis in his neck that was resulting in neurologic complications. He was given targeted spinal injections that made a drastic improvement in his condition, and he was then given a prognosis of a long, healthy life. He even surpassed our hopes for recovery, and he ended up coming back and having a full show jump, continuing his full show jumping career. But the thought of having almost lost him to misdiagnosis was almost incomprehensible to me, and still is. Every day, I am just so grateful that Finn remains a constant in my life. I've learned to trust what I know to be true and not to let the experts tell me different. This experience revealed to me that Finn really is my godsend, and that his white blaze will be my light in the darkness always. Thank you.